So you're gonna have to choose to stay in the meeting. There's this very, Zoom is changing things all the time now, so it's all good. So what I wanted to do is, that is not what I wanted to do. I did not want to do that part at all. There we go, gallery. Okay, so before we get started, what I would like to do is find out, have you ever launched anything before? Have you ever, and what I mean by launch is that you have put out some sort of product or offer to the public and hoped and prayed to Jesus that somebody would buy your stuff, right? Have you ever done that before where you have an event, you do something to try and entice people to purchase something from you? Has everybody done that here? Has anybody not done that here?
I've done a couple already.
Okay, so Heike has launched before. Mary, have you launched anything before? No? Anne, I know you're wanting to launch.
I want to know more about what a launch is per
Yes,
se.
we're
I'm
going to learn
still
all
wrapping my
about
mind
that.
around that.
Yeah, we're going to learn all about
Okay.
that. Kim, have you done a launch before? Or Dixie?
Sorry, no.
I haven't, unless you consider website and classes, hoping people sign up for classes. That's probably as close as I've come so far.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's many types of launches. And when I talk about launches, it's really talking about creating a product, creating an offer, having a program, having a way for people to say, yes, I want what you're selling. And it's kind of done in an event sort of way. Okay. It's kind of done in an event sort of way. There are 10 types of events that we're going to actually, that you can do to support this sort of launch. And we're going to talk all about all of this kind of stuff, right? The reason why I am choosing to talk about this more is because I've launched a marketing agency called the Insource It Marketing Agency. And the goal behind that is to help you either teach you how to do your own launch and how to set all of the back end stuff up, because it is a lot of work. Heike, right? She's like, oh my gosh, it is a lot of work to try to launch something, to get everything ready that needs to be ready in order for you to feel confident that you can actually get people enrolled, get people to purchase, get people to buy, whatever it is that you are trying to launch, okay? So there's a lot of work that goes along behind that. And so what I want to do is I want to, over the next 5 days, I want to give you a really solid foundation. I want you to find the clarity that you need in order to have it all put together. I want you to be able to get inside the mind of your audience. So you, if you don't have a product yet, that we can help you create a product that will actually sell. Okay, because it's not so much like I've heard people say, well, I want to teach courses, but I don't want to do any of I don't want to do anything live. I just want to collect money and not do any of the work. You would be surprised how often I hear that kind of stuff. And yesterday I made a post about it that saying that I just want money to come into my bank account and not do any of the work is what I call the entrepreneur's fool's gold. It's fool's gold, right? That we think that we don't have to do any of the work and that money is just going to pour into our bank accounts without having to do any of the work. And that is a very false sense of reality. And I blame Instagram. I really don't blame Instagram, but I blame people that have put out this idea that that is normal. It's not normal. That's like a 1%. 1% of entrepreneurs that can build this giant company and literally they get money into their bank account for just breathing, right? If you look at Amazon or Bill Gates, or they make hundreds of dollars just by breathing every minute. They have set their business up that way. Is that common? for entrepreneurs? No, it's not. And I really want to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a position where, wow, we are severely disappointed and we feel really unsuccessful because we're not cajillionaires. We're not cajillionaires. That doesn't mean that we're not successful. You are the only one who can decide what success looks like for you. Okay. So today we're going to talk about position. So I've created what I call the Speedy launch system, which is a system I use with my dream team. So the other element of my marketing agency is that I have a dream team, and these dream team members will basically take the work that needs to be done for you to get your launch done, whether it's copywriting, landing pages, websites, emailed sequences. Sorry, Jax is having a heyday because somebody is here to deliver a package. Sorry about that. And now my pug is going to join him. So that's super fun. So part of our Speedy launch system is I have basically 4 components, and then the 5th component, which we're going to talk about this week, is basically putting it all together so that you can launch a product. Okay. And when I say product, I mean offer, program, courses, anything and everything is an offer. So from now on, I'm going to refer to everything as an offer. Hi, Sue. It's so good to see you. Have you, the question I asked earlier before you came on is, have you launched anything yet before, or is this your first time?
Nope, I have.
You have. Awesome.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
know kind of what we're talking about.
Yep, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about position, and we're going to talk about the word profit. And you'll see there are some blank lines next to there. So if you want to fill in the blanks, I love fill in the blanks. They're like one of my favorite things. It helps me pay attention, which is why I love to create fill in the blanks for other people, because I'm like, maybe if it helps me pay attention, it'll help other people pay attention too, because that's just how my brain works. So the first fill in the blank you'll see is that people don't buy your process. They buy your payoff or your solution. They don't buy your bullet points. That's not what they're doing. They want to buy the solution that you have to solve their problem. That's all they care about. They don't care that they get to be in your Facebook group. They don't care if they get free this and free that, and they don't care. All they care about is, can you help me solve my problem? That's all they care about. So that's what you have to focus on. And throughout all of this, that is like the biggest lesson that you're going to learn. And throughout all of this is, it's not about the process. It's about, what are they going to get? What transformation are they going to experience by them hiring you, or them taking your course, or them buying your book, or whatever that is? What's the transformation? So we're going to talk about that as well. Okay. So speaking of transformation, the first P in profit is, people buy transformation, not bullet points. That's what people care about, is how are you going to help them? They don't care about all the bullet points. Oh, I was so heavy on the bullet points, you guys. Like, I thought that what I needed to do to help people was, I needed to tell them every little thing that they were going to get. And I needed to tell them every little thing that was going to happen. What I was missing on telling them the transformation that they were going to get by going through whatever my program was. I learn a lot from trial and error. So then when I learn it, I come and teach you guys. Okay, so R is going to be reduce their risk. Reduce the risk. So what that means is that when someone is thinking about purchasing something from you, whether maybe it's a high ticket. So anyone here sell a high ticket item that's like more than $500? Okay. So when you have a high ticket, there can be resistance. There can be scarcity, there can be mindset, there can be money blocks, there can be all sorts of things. So what we have to do is, we have to do what we call risk reversal, which means that whatever your transformation is that how can you reduce their risk of thinking that what happens if this doesn't work? We're going to talk a lot more about what this looks like as we move through this 5 days. I'm going to go into more detail about risk reversal, but it is something that we have to pay attention to while we are creating our offer and we're creating the language and we're trying to encourage people to sign up with us. Okay. Letter O is offer what they want, but give them what they need. Offer what they want, but give them what they need. And what that means is, okay, I'm going to use my friend as an example. So she is an emotional eating coach. Okay. What people want is they want to lose weight. That's what everybody wants. What they need, however, is they need to heal their trauma and learn how to stop using food as a coping mechanism. Do you see how that works? So when she's always like, man, everybody that signs, they just want to lose weight. They just want to lose weight. They don't actually know yet what they need. That's a surface issue. I want to lose weight. But what's really underneath all of that? We're going to talk more about that too, okay? So offer what they want, give them what they need. You know, because you've worked with people, what they really truly need. They just don't know it yet, okay? F is fortune is in the follow-up. Sometimes what happens is that we complain that we're not getting any new customers, we're not getting any new leads, etc. And the fact of the matter is that we are, but we're not following up with them because there's some mindset issues going in there about, I don't want to be annoying. Anyone else ever feel like they're going to be annoying if they reach out to you and ask you if you still are interested or if there's something you can do to help? Oh yeah, I got that. I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be like that annoying friend that is like, hey, have you thought any more about, I don't want to feel that way. I don't want them to be annoyed with me. So it prevents me sometimes from following up. It's not that I don't have clients and I don't have customers. I'm in my own head about following up with them, but that's where the fortune lies. Okay. I stands for insight, not intention, determines your destination. Insight, not intention. So insight really truly is like, it's the clarity. When you know exactly what you do, you know, you have all of that confidence in what you do and how you help people. That's where it's all at, you guys. That's where it's all at. You can have all the intentions in the world without the clarity, and how far is that going to get you? Right? You got to have that insight to your clients. You have to have the insight to your expertise. You have to have the insights for all of that. Okay. And then T is tell them what to do, sell them on how to do it. Okay. Tell them what to do. I can tell you what to do. But if you want the help, then I can teach you how to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? I can tell you whether or not you take action. That's a whole nother story. Right? So tell them what to do, sell them on how to do it. So my same friend that I talked about earlier had this fear of, if I give away all my secrets, then they're not going to want to hire me. Anyone else feel that way? If I give them all the secrets, then they're not going to want to hire me. They can go do it on their own. Yeah, they can. Good. Let them. Because here's the deal. You have a secret magical power that you can help them with. And what you're trying to do is, yes, people can take everything that I teach you and you can go do this on your own. Absolutely. I want you to. But if you're like, ooh, I can't seem to get over this part, the technology, my mindset, I'm all up in my way. That's where you're like, okay, Elaine, I need help. I want you to succeed. And with or without me, with or without my help, I want you to succeed. And that's what all of us should be feeling, is that we want for our audience, we want them to succeed with or without our help. So there's no such thing as keeping all of the secrets to yourself, because how does that actually help anyone? So when you give them value and they're like, oh my gosh, that was so helpful, I wonder what else she could help me with. Right? So leave them wanting more from you because you helped them accomplish something. You gave them a win, right? Any questions about the profit, the acronym? No questions? Okay, we're going to move on to the next one, which are 2 types of pains. All right, so you have surface pain and secret pain. So there is a huge difference between these two. So surface pain is, I want to lose weight. Surface. The secret pain is what your client is not going to tell anyone. It's that deep, dark secret that they're keeping to themselves, but it's really the root of their pain. So the surface level is, I want to lose weight. The secret pain is, I'm struggling with I can't control how I feel about food. I sneak food, I'm overeating, I'm overindulging, I'm using food when I'm happy, I'm using food when I'm sad. Those are the secrets that no one's going to say it out loud. They're going to keep that to themselves. Okay? So for your clients, for your audience, when you really think about it, what do they come to you for? They came to you for one reason. And then once you start working with people, you start noticing that something is really going on underneath the surface there. What are they really afraid of? What do they really need help with? And if you know what their surface pain and their secret pain is, all of a sudden, now you have magical superpowers that you can actually help people. You can actually help them when you know it. You can speak to it. You can tell them that I know when you try to do XYZ that you have all of these really hard feelings, that you have all of these things that you're not talking about. You can speak to that person in your marketing, in your messaging, in your emails, and all of the things. Really speak to their heart. If you know what that is, you can speak to their heart. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, how did she know? She knows my deep, dark secrets. And I learned, ladies, several years ago, I did a survey. Some of you have heard this before, but I did a survey about what entrepreneurs, what their biggest fears were. And I was trying to tie it to trauma and how an entrepreneur ran their business if they had trauma. I learned people's deepest, darkest secrets in this anonymous survey. Do you think that I'm able to help them because I'm able to speak to the entrepreneur who's not willing to share it out loud? I can speak to them and they don't know that I know, right? It's not even it's anonymous. So, but I can go through and go, wow, a lot of entrepreneurs are really struggling with fear or with self-sabotage, or they're struggling with money scarcity or whatever. I can go speak to that. And I'm touching their heart, right? Any questions about secret pain and surface pain? Do you need help figuring out what the difference is with your clients? You feel like you have that part down? Okay, good. Mary?
Can,
I would just offer that another way to think about it is the visible and the invisible.
Yeah, absolutely. Heike, what were you going to say?
and I'm assuming like, I mean, I see like my clients have several pain points, like secret pain points.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of like figuring out like for each client, it could be a combination actually. It often is.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
sometimes it's really one is more the issue than another, but definitely more than one.
Right. So like for yours, people may say, I don't know what to wear.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to wear to my photo shoot. But the secret pain is I don't feel comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
That's the secret pain. So
Yeah.
they're using I don't know what to wear as an excuse to really hide underneath the I don't feel good about my body. I don't feel good in my skin. I'm not confident, things like that.
Yeah. The other one I find interesting is also money mindset.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big one. And then third one is like just overwhelm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just need a headshot. When seriously, you don't even know all the potential that you have in your business that actually needs to be portrayed. So helping them figure that one out and realizing the expert they are in their field.
Yes, absolutely. You're hitting it right on the nail right on the head there.
Okay.
Yep. So it's okay to talk about that in multiple things and right, address it in multiple ways.
Yeah. Okay. So that I think that's been my issue so far. Is like, I don't want to just talk about how you look and all this stuff, but so I can do really highlight individual stuff across the board. Okay.
Absolutely. And I saw your hand.
Yeah, I anticipate in the future that I'll probably have both with a lot of my clients because my book is about healing from sexual abuse, but I have a feeling that a lot of my clients will have both issues. You know, they might be dealing with addictions just to suppress that hidden pain
Mhm.
they don't want to have to deal with. So
Yeah. Right. So there's coping mechanisms, right? If you're
Mhm.
familiar with the ACEs study, I would highly encourage you to learn more about the ACEs study. But the ACEs study is about trauma, right? And then I learned through that survey that the number one coping mechanism people were using because of trauma was food, alcohol, shopping.
Mhm.
I learned that those were like the top three. And even social media is a coping mechanism for people, right? So they're using a coping mechanism to avoid really dealing with the pain or the trauma that they have. So yeah, surface is coping, right? I have an addiction to something, but the
Exactly.
real reason underneath it is trauma.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So being able to talk about that is going to be really important for you, Anne. Okay. All right. So then you're going to have a couple of columns down here on your worksheet, pain and payoff. And so if you were able, and you just do a couple, right? If you were able to say, this is the pain and this is the payoff, this is the solution that I can provide to match that pain. So if you can solve their pain based on your experience, based on your offer, your product, your course, your program, whatever it is that you do, what is that? So a couple of examples. I like to always fill out my own workbook before I send it to you guys so that I can make adjustments, but I fill it out for my own business, right? I do. And so I'm going to give you some examples if that's okay, just so you can kind of like see how I did mine. So the pain is overwhelm. They're overwhelmed with the idea of launching their own program. Oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know. I don't like technology, blah, 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 blah. The payoff, the solution that I provide is the dream team. That's one of the solutions, is the dream team will do it all for you. Okay, pain, solution. The next one I have was that I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money in order to get all the things done. And then, especially if they're saying I don't have enough money, I know that the DIY option might be better for people that say that I don't have enough money, because it's not cheap to have the dream team, but I have a DIY option that allow people, I will teach them how to do it. It'll take a little bit longer, but they will save the money and they'll learn how to do it themselves. Okay. So do you see how I took each of those pains that I know my clients say, and then I have solutions for each of them? Does that make sense? Okay. So then our question down below, these are for you guys to answer about your business. Okay, these are your business questions. Some things that I really want you to consider are, what's the source or the root cause of their pain? And why are they seeking a solution now? Like, why now? So sometimes what happens is that it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? They are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and now they're ready to finally have this problem solved, right? So I have a friend, a local friend, who's getting ready to do, she's launching a challenge to help people clean out their garage. Okay. And so at some point, people are like, I am so sick of looking at my garage being so unorganized, and I can't even park my car in the garage, blah, 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 blah. There's a pain point where people finally go, all right, I've had enough. Now I'm willing to do something about it. Because you can offer and offer and offer and talk about cleaning out the garage for months. And they hear you, but they're not really taking action, because guess what? It's not a problem yet. It's not become such a problem that they're willing to do anything about it. So there has to be a breaking point for people to say, all right, I'm fed up. I'm ready to do something different, because what I'm doing is not working. What I'm doing is not working. So I'm willing to try something else. So really think about that for if you were to like, I love to like pick a favorite client in my head, and I will fill everything out with her in my mind. So some of the answers I wrote down just for my own business, so that you can see what I said, was that my clients are worried that their clients will find another solution. So they have this like, I have to get this done, otherwise they're going to go somewhere else. I have to solve their problem. Otherwise, my audience is going to go somewhere else if I don't get this done, right? That's a huge worry for people. The other thing, the root cause of their pain is that they say they're allergic to technology. I don't know if you guys have ever said it, but I've heard it, and I'm like, that is such a really funny phrase. I'm allergic to technology. Anyone here? I know Janet always says I'm allergic to technology. Technology always fails me. It never works properly. And they want to get it done now because they're impatient, right? I need to get it done right now, because in 6 months, am I still going to be motivated? Am I still going to be passionate about this topic? I don't know about you guys, but I get bored and I'm like, okay, on to the next thing, because that's just how my brain works. Shiny squirrel object syndrome over here, guys. Okay, any questions about that? And if you want to share your answers in the chat, feel free to do so. Okay. I'd love to see your guys' answers. The next question is, what happens if they don't alleviate this pain in their life? Like, what's going to happen next? What do they want to avoid? So using the garage example, if they don't get their garage cleaned out, pretty soon they're going to be on an episode of Hoarders. So it went from, I can't park my car in the garage, to now I just get into this place where I just put everything in the garage because it's already a disaster. So I might as well just pile on more stuff. And before you know it, now I'm on an episode of Hoarders, and the dumpster is here, and I'm in panic and anxiety and depression and all of that kind of stuff. Like, that little thing, had I taken action and cleaned out the garage when my friend was having this thing, I could have avoided being on an episode of Hoarders. Okay. So what I wrote down was that my clients will continue wasting time and money. And what I mean by that is that, yes, there are $37 courses out there that'll teach you how to do all the things. Guess what happens? You don't do it. You pay the money and you don't do the work. And so you'll continue doing it over and over and over. You'll repeat that cycle over and over again until you decide this is not working. I have to do something different. And so the next question is, why are you the solution to their problem? Why are you the solution to their problem? Janet, I'm going to drop that in here for you. There's a PDF link, a fillable PDF, as well as a workbook you can print out and write in. Your email address is your username and password. Okay. Okay. So the answers I wrote was that our dream team will do it all for them with our project manager. That is myself. And then why are we the solution? We will also train their virtual assistant. So a lot of people are like, well, I already have a virtual assistant. Well, your virtual assistant is actually not equipped to do this kind of work for you. So let your virtual assistant continue doing the stuff where they're managing your calendar and your email and helping you with your social media. But let us do this part temporarily, and then we'll train them moving forward so that they can continue helping you, right? Virtual assistants are really good at doing what you tell them, but not anything extra. Any questions about those questions? Anyone need any help or support around figuring out what that looks like for you or your business? Just unmute and ask away. Okay, so then we're going to move on to page 2, which has our cute little graph on here. The top of the page, fill in the blank, is when their pain meets your solution. So you're going to see these 3 circles. The green color is who. So you're going to fill in the green circle with who. The yellow circle is going to be what, and the red circle is going to be how.
Okay, I printed mine out in black and white.
Okay, so
You
your
got to be top, left, and right. Okay.
top is going to be who.
Okay, who?
Left is going to be what.
Okay.
And right is going to be how.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Trying to save on ink.
Yeah, I get you, girl. I get you. So then you're going to see some little arrows pointing out. So between the who and the what, which is on the left, you're going to write emotional pain. So the who, underneath that black line there on the top where you wrote who, you're going to write who needs to know. Who needs to know what you can offer? Who needs to know about your solution? And then under the what, you're going to write what you know. So what your expertise is, what you can teach people, what's the transformation that you can provide. So between the who and the what, you have the emotional pain. So who needs to know about the emotional pain and what you can do to help them? Do you see how that works in that little triad, that little circle there? And then under the how on the right, you're going to write how you'll deliver the solution. And then the top right arrow, you're going to write perspective. So we have now who needs to know and how you'll deliver that solution. The perspective comes from how your audience is going to consume information differently. So if you have a CEO, that you're trying to attract versus a small business owner? Does a CEO of $1 million company have the same amount of time as a small business? So it's based on the type of audience that you are trying to attract. So if you have a course or a program, you could have completely different audiences. So it's like what you're trying to teach and who you're trying to teach it to, that who, and you're going to need to figure out how your various audiences are going to like to consume information. That's going to require some market research. Okay. And now the bottom arrow pointing between the what and the how is how you'll deliver to what you know. So you combine those two, and now you have, is this going to be one-to-one? Is this going to be one-to-many? Are you going to speak? Are you going to do a group? So this is, does that make sense? So how will you deliver what you know to who needs to know it? Anne?
Yeah, in my case, I'm hoping in the future that I could do both, like become a healing coach and deliver one-on-one, and maybe sometime in the future when the world opens back up, become a speaker for groups.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so you can create like stepping stones, right? So as you're going along your journey, as you learn more, as you get more education, now you can turn that around and deliver to the various types of audiences that you'll have, right? You may not be ready for that yet, but it's a stepping stone process, right? You don't have to do it all at once. Like, let's bite one bite at a time of that big ass elephant instead of trying to do it all at once. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the bottom, we have another fill in the blank, which is people want to be heard before they are helped. People want to be heard before they are helped. So what that means, one of the ways that we do that, one of the ways that I do that is I do consultations, because how many people are willing to go and spend thousands of dollars and never talk to a person? I ain't spending thousands of dollars with someone unless I talk to them first, right? I want to make sure that we have a connection, that they can actually help me, that they've heard what I have to say and say, I can help you, right? So there has to be a connection there. So how will you help people through that? Will you do consultations? Will you do a different strategy? What if it's a $37 product? Are you going to do a consultation for that? Probably not, right? Probably not. But what you can do is you can record a video speaking to them and addressing their problems and their pains and how this is going to help them. So it's just a matter of what's going to be the best use of your time.
Elaine,
Yes.
at the top, there was the fill in the blank when their blank meets your blank. I didn't catch that one.
When their pain meets your solution.
That's what I thought it was. Thank you.
Yeah. So one thing I've learned about people is that everybody wants one word. There's one word that people all want. Anyone want to guess what that is? What does everyone want? Janet is saying happiness. What else? What are some other things that you think that every person on this planet wants? Love. Anne says love. I'm going to tell you what it is. Oh, Sue says success. Nope. You know what it is? Freedom. Time freedom or financial freedom? right? Those are the two main components to freedom, time and money. And when you sell something that can offer more time or more money, you need to talk about that. So thinking in the future, how will your product, your offer, your course, your program, etc., give people more time or more money? Any questions about that page? We're good? Okay, so we're going to move on to page 3, which is the perfect formula. Okay, perfect formula. So understanding exactly what problem you solve and the results that you can give to your clients is the perfect tool to position yourself for profit. Heike?
Can I give you just one quick bit on feedback on the fillable PDF? Like when there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's just one text box, and all I can do is just write in one long line instead of actually.
I know, I tried with that yesterday and I was, no.
I know I've done this before too. And it's horrible to do. Just
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. Why won't you put the
it's one long line. It works.
cursor? Yeah, it puts the cursor in the middle of the box and not on the top of the box. Okay, so number 1 is problem. And so what I want you to do, you're going to see the boxes below. And so number 1 is problem. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fill in the box number 1 with the problem that your clients have. So we're going to kind of condense everything into one spot. We're going to talk about the perfect formula, which a lot of it, we've kind of covered a lot of it, not all of it yet. So number 1 is problem. Number 2 is going to be solution. So you're going to write what problem your clients have in box number 1, what solutions you offer in box number 2. Okay, side by side. And then the next one that we're going to add to this is going to be results. So box number 3, you're going to write the results that you give to your clients. And are they monetary or emotional results? Are you going to help them make more money? Are you going to help them feel better about themselves? Like what it has to be one of those. You're going to help them make more money. You're going to help them take back their time. You're going to improve their confidence. What is the thing? And then number 4 is going to become your offer. So the offer is going to be, you have a pain, you have a problem, you have a solution, you can give them a result. What is going to be the offer that you can create that is going to answer those 3 things above? Problem, solution, results. Is that going to be a course? Is it going to be a program? Is it going to be a book? Is it going to be what? What's it going to be? And then number 5 is going to be, who's your audience? So who has the problems that you're trying to help them solve? If you're helping entrepreneurs, are you helping women? Are you helping mothers? Are you helping children? Are you helping a specific type of entrepreneur? Are you helping other coaches? Are you helping other who, right? So I'm going to tell you what I put in my boxes. So the problem is overwhelmed and no time. That's the problem. The solution, I have two solutions, the dream team or the DIY option. Number 3, I give them relief, magic, like that's the result I give people, okay? And then number 4, my offer is my DIY program or the dream team. And we're going to talk about appraising that offer. And then number 5, my audience are coaches and consultants and small business owners, as well as 6+ figure entrepreneurs. So I kind of have both sides because I have 2 offers that will fit in with either type of audience, right? So when you look at who your clients are, if you have like, wow, I have really high level entrepreneurs, and then I have maybe beginning entrepreneurs, totally different, very different needs there. And can you help that? So like Heike, I know she can do headshots, but then she can also do branding, right? So that's the headshot, maybe that beginning entrepreneur that is just like, I just know that I need headshots for my LinkedIn. And then once you talk to them, then all of a sudden like, oh, I didn't know that that was a thing that I could get branding. Like, what is that? Right? So it's that entry level offer that makes people go, oh yeah, I do need new headshots. But then you can say, well, have you ever considered having branding photos done and going through that process? Any questions or anyone need help with figuring out what to put in your boxes? Feeling okay? Okay, good. So now we're going to talk about how to shift from an amateur to an expert. Janet, I see your hand, honey. What would you like to say?
Can you explain to me more about a branding photo? I've never heard that expression.
Yeah, so branding portraits. So Heike is a branding photographer on the East Coast. And so what she does is she helps for business owners like having nice pictures, a variety of pictures where they're working or they're behind the scenes or they're posed on the stairs or they have a coffee cup and, you know, things like that. So instead of using like stock photos, they can have photos of themselves and it's reflective of the brand of their business.
And I'm going to add just a teeny tiny bit to that. It's all about bringing your personality so your clients can see in images right away what it's going to feel like working with you. It's all about bringing in that feeling of what that experience might look like for them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how to shift from an amateur to an expert. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to shift our tonality. And what that means is that we need to give instructions and imperatives, not suggestions. So you have to become the expert, which means that you have to be confident in how you speak with people. And instead of saying, well, I think you might want this, that's a suggestion and it's not really it's not a very strong statement. So becoming the expert says, it sounds like you're struggling with XYZ, therefore I recommend XYZ to solve your problem. So you sit in that seat as an expert instead of an amateur. Okay. Number 2 is going to be never stop learning. Never stop learning. Amateurs, in my opinion, their ego is in the way of them learning. They think they already know it all. They're not willing to learn another way. So all of you here on this call, you are proving that you are not an amateur because you are willing to learn more constantly. Okay. Number 3 is going to be to get endorsed. And this is going to be getting referrals and recommendations from other trusted experts and influencers in your industry. So when other people are endorsing you, what does that do? It lifts your credibility. When other people are saying, oh, you need to talk to Elaine, my credibility just went through the roof because someone else is recommending me. It's not my voice, it's someone else's voice. Right?
So I have to say, I really love getting Google reviews, especially when they speak to the experience. And I have to say, like, my clients are amazing and explaining what it was in that whole process that made it so special for them. And that exactly that's it. They speak to all the pain points.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty phenomenal.
Right, right. So number 4 is going to be to build your assets. So experts have assets. They have lots of knowledge sharing. They have videos, they have courses, they have programs, they have books, they have ebooks, they have this, they have that. Experts have lots of content to direct people to and to drive people to. They freely give information all over the place. They share their favorite tools. They share their favorite systems. They share their favorites. They position themselves as an expert. My favorite person that does that really well is my business bestie Paige. She brands herself as the big sister you wish you had or you never had, right? And her whole thing is she will help you figure out which platform, which program, etc., is going to work best for you. Right? So she's positioned herself as an expert in that way. So people will go to her and say, hey, I have this thing. Where should I go? Okay. So what do you want to be known for helping people with? You want people to be able to say, go see Kim for XYZ. How do we make that happen? Networking, building relationships, one-on-one connections with people. Number 5 is gain social proof. So, Heike, when you're saying your clients are leaving you testimonials, you're gaining social proof.
So can you tell me the difference then between getting endorsed and just social proof, or do they go hand in hand depending
No,
on your business?
getting endorsed is from other industry experts. So other well-known photographers, other branding experts, anyone that is also that could be a good collaborative partner for you endorsing you.
Okay.
Like for me, I have another local photographer that when people still call me to do their pictures and I'm like, I give them a referral to someone else that I'm endorsing them.
Mhm. Okay. I mean, I have that happening too. I just wasn't sure if they go hand in hand.
Yeah. So social proof are client testimonials.
Okay.
And them sharing about their experience and the transformation that you gave them.
Mhm.
And number 6 is going to be become internet validated. This is a way where you can repurpose content in a variety of ways in multiple outlets, because what it's going to do is it's going to increase and boost your SEO. And if you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So for example, Sue is a LinkedIn lady. Do you know how many times if you search for something, LinkedIn pops up at the top of the Google results? Pinterest will pop up at the top of the results, sometimes before your own website. So what that means is that you need to make sure that you are sharing and repurposing content on multiple platforms, especially LinkedIn and Pinterest, because they are going, and even YouTube. Those are really high rated search engines. They are going to show up in the Google search bar first. Okay. So you got to be able to put your content out there in multiple ways, whether it's small clips of video or like all of the videos that I'm going to be doing. Guess what I'll be able to do? I can take clips if I wanted to and put them out and talk about this topic and be able to, right? And so now each time I do that, I'm going to have a really great description. And what it's going to do is boost my SEO. I might add it to a blog. I might put it on Pinterest. I'm going to put it on LinkedIn. Where are my customers hanging out? So becoming internet validated means that your content is on more than just Facebook. You need to be on multiple places in order for your business to show up anywhere in the search results. Okay. Any questions about that? Because I know that can be like, what? And if you need help with LinkedIn, go see Sue. I'm validating Sue. Okay. So now we're going to go to the last page for today's for today. And there are several, you have 6 boxes here, and you're going to choose 2 of these. So box number 1, top left corner, is a coach. This is the definition of a coach. Box number 2, top right, is a consultant. Box 3, 35,000 view of organization, is a strategist. Box number 4, where it says makes complex principles easy to digest and apply, is a teacher. Box number 5, bottom left, focus on the leader, is mentor. And then box number 6, bottom right, possess or outsource a skill set which can be traded for money, is an implementer. So when you look at these definitions, which 2 do you feel like you fall under?
I would say coach and teacher, I think.
Okay.
Teacher in the future, coach to begin with.
All right. Sounds good. So then when you are positioning yourself and your business, how you identify yourself allows people to know exactly what you do. I've called myself a mentor. I've called myself a strategist. I've called myself all the things. I've called myself every single one of these titles on here. It depends on my audience and it depends on what I'm doing for them. Okay, so this will help you just kind of figure out, how do you want to position yourself in your industry? One of the hardest parts for me when I was starting out, as I was doing photography, and I knew something was missing. And if you have ever met Barbara Portsline in New Mexico, she was a Polka Dot managing director. And we had a conversation, and she said, why don't you help women boost their confidence before they have their photo shoot? And I was like, but I'm not a coach. I don't have certifications and I'm not qualified. And she was like, who says you have to have that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, isn't that like a rule or something? You know, I didn't know. And she's like, can you teach baseball? Would you have to have certifications to teach baseball? And I'm like, no. Right. So it was this mindset of that I had to be qualified and I had to have certain education. I had to have a degree. I had to have this in order to feel qualified. And I know that some of us get stuck on that we need to have all of these letters after our name in order to feel qualified to help people. I help people based on my personal experience. When I learn something new and I think, oh my gosh, how did I apply this to my business or my life, and how did it make me successful? I teach people the journey that I went through. Why do I have to have a certification for that? To teach people what worked for me. Because maybe what worked for me will work for someone else. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay, right? So I want to be respectful of everybody's time. There's a final question on here for you, which is what makes you stand out from your competitor? This is going to be your homework assignment. Okay, is that I want you to research other people in your industry and how do you do it differently. So you can Google one other person, maybe they're virtual, maybe they live in another city or state. Like if you're local, like Dixie is local, she has a brick and mortar shop, right? So there are other people out in the world that does what she does. But the goal is to figure out what makes you stand out, what makes you different. Why are people going to come to you? Why are they not going to go to Joe Schmo who charges less money? Right? Heike, how many photographers do you have in your area? Why do people choose you? Right? Really figuring that out. What makes you different? When I was doing photography, teaching people how to love their bodies and appreciate and boost their confidence was how I stood out. They could have chosen any other photographer in the area, but I figured out how I could stand out in my industry. And now with this marketing agency, we stand out really good because not a lot of people are doing what we do, that have a dream team or will teach you how to do it. When I tell people what we're doing, they're like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. Man, I want my own dream team. Right? And I'm like, cool, dream team directory is coming soon. You can build your own. Right? Like, I want to be able to help people solve this problem. So how will you stand out in your industry? So if you haven't launched yet, or you have launched, really being able to figure out, what are you going to do differently this time? How are you going to stand out this time? What's going to be different this time? Okay, so that's your homework assignment. If you go into the member vault where you got the workbook and you go into today's lesson, I will put the replay of this video, but you will see questions and where you can type in your answers. If you at least do the last question, which is this question, none of the answers are required, so you can choose to put in your answers that you put in the workbook in there if you want to. Otherwise, just go in there and answer what makes you stand out. Just answer that last question so that it will let me know that you're paying attention and that you're doing your homework. Okay. And then tomorrow we're going to be talking about product. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to talk about product, and we are going to be talking about creating an offer, creating whatever, like, so we've talked about the formula today, and now we're going to actually create a product that is going to be based on the pain and the solution and the results that you give to people. So tomorrow we're going to focus a lot on the offer. Okay. So thank you guys so much for coming today. It was so lovely to see so many wonderful, beautiful, familiar faces. It makes me feel less like a loser when I have people that I know show up. It just makes me feel so special. So thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.